igisubizo kw'igisubizo nyirizina ari uburyo iryo soko rigomba gukora rikanatanga igisubizo ku bibazo byatumye rishyirwaho. Avuga ko byumvikana ko abantu bashobora kutishimira uburyo birimo kugenda bigura intege, uburyo gushyira mu bikorwa aya masezerano bigenda bigura intege, ariko avuga ko intambwe ikomeye yatewe yari yo gusinya aya masezerano no kwemera ko iri soko rijyaho, ariko kandi ko ku
nama ibyo navuze
ariko the form bijyanye na language bishobora kuba bitari uko bikwiye kuba bimeze cyangwa uko byumva, ariko did it change the content?
Yes.
Uravuga yes nakubaza ntabwo bizi
nibyo nibuka, ariko na minister nawe arahari.
Of course n'ubundi iyo mbwira nkabaza minister na mbere hose. Yes, minister tubwiye very important kuri jye nabonye abantu bayereka ariko nta protocol iri mu bibi bintu. Nabonye hari wasubiza ngo abwiye minister nabi minister nabi ko tubaze.
Murakoze Your Excellency, ntabwo byari ikibazo cya protocol, ntabwo byari n'ikibazo cyo gusubiza minister nabi. Nge nta kibazo nari mbifiteho, ikibazo ni content. Nari navuze bijyanye n'inama yabereye i Nairobi ya Africa Fraud Summit twari twagiyemo.
Tujya ku substance nyine quickly,
kuko guverinoma ya Kongo yari yavuze yuko ngo mu nama ngo bavuze ko u Rwanda rwabateye bakabibwira bari mu nama, kandi iyo nama ntabwo perezida wa Kongo yari ayirimo, yaje irangiye bazanye umukandida wabo muri francophonie.
So abanyekongo ibyo bavuze nibyo bitari byo,
hanyuma ndabivuga muri tweet mu gifaransa mbabwira ko ibyo bintu mwavuze
ko abanyekongo ibyo bavuze atari byo.
Hanyuma rero mu kiganiro na Scovia barimo bagerageza gusemura, barabiquestioninga byose.
Bande
ibyo navuze barabiquestioninga yuko muri ikiganiro Scovia n'abandi banyamakuru basangiye stage muri mama w'u Gasabo. Hanyuma baranavuga yuko bavuga yuko ibyo navuze ahubwo bagiye kubibaza umuhanzi witwa Sherry Silver wari watumiwe ngo aze muri party yagombaga kuba after the meeting ya Africa Fraud Summit, ku buryo navuze yuko bitanakwiye yuko
ariko ibyo bavuze bitajyanye n'ibyo bavuze ni ibiki?
Nibyo ngibyo by'uko Kongo yanenze u Rwanda mu nama kandi Kongo perezida wayo ataranahari. Ibyo nibyo navuze, bo baranabiquestioninga.
Banabiquestioninze cyangwa babiripotinze ku buryo butari bwo.
Babiquestioninze ibyo navuze. Bavuga ko ahubwo baza no kubaza umuhanzi.
Babiquestioninze bavuga ko ibyo wavuze bitari byo nicyo cyangwa
ko bitari byo, ko bitumvikana, ko ahubwo baza kubaza uwo muhanzi ko ari wewe uza kubisobanura.
Ikitarumvikanaga ngo nikize.
Nibyo nanjye nibaza, kuko ibyo navugaga byari clear, kuko Kongo yavugaga ko ngo batunenze ko mu nama ya Africa Fraud Summit, kandi Kongo itari nahari. Baraje
ariko ibyo ni Kongo yabivuze.
Ibyo ni Kongo yabivuze, ngewe ndabinenga muri tweet mu gifaransa.
Hanyuma
ahubwo bo barananenga bavuga ko bidasobanutse ibyo ndimo mvuga.
Bitasobanutse meaning what?
Ko ibyo mvuga nenga Kongo ko bitari clear, kandi ari nge wari uhari muri iyo nama. Ibyo navuze byari bisobanutse, kandi
ari ikintu kimisinga aho ngaho ntumva neza. Bakwandika bavuga ngo ibyo bavuze si byo, bavuze ibyo bo kuri bo bakuvugiye ibyo wavuze se bitari byo.
Oya, barabiquestioningaga yuko ibyo mvuga
bitumvikana.
Best ku bintu ntanumva, kubera ko it was clear ibyo navugaga byuko Kongo ntabwo yari mu nama, ntishobora kuvuga.
Babiquestioninza bavuga se ngo Olivier arabeshya, ntabwo biri ari byavuze, cyangwa yavuze bashatse kuvuga ibyo wavuze ariko babivuga mu buryo butari bwo, batanga indi content or
bavuga ko ibyo mvuga bitumvikana. Ko ngiye ibyo mvuga nka Minister wa Foreign Affairs wari muri iyo nama, ko ibyo mvuga bitumvikana, ko ahubwo bagiye kubaza umuhanzi utari no muri iyo nama.
Umuhanzi bamubarizaga iki?
Kubera ko yari yatumiwe muri party yabaye nyuma y'iyo nama. Hari party yabaye, hari umuhanzi wari watumiwe ngo bafashe gutegura iyo party, ngo nibo baza kubaza mu bintu byavugiwe mu nama y'abakuru b'ibihugu narindimo. Aho ngaho niho hari ikibazo.
Ariko ikindi kibazo muhitamo kubishyira ku rubuga muterana amagambo.
Nuko hari hashize n'iminsi mubwira ibyo batagiye basemura neza, mwandikira akamubwira ko babikora, nyuma bakongera bagasubira bakabidistortinga.
Ibyo byaje kuba noneho bitari interpretation. Ibyo bavuze gusa ko ibyo bavuze atari byo.
Ko atari byo, ko babi-questioning.
It is very intriguing. What is it?
Nyakubahwa, murakoze kongera kumpa umwanya.
Abandi mwari kumwe icyo gihe ni bande mbese?
Ni abanyamakuru dukorana, ntabwo bari hano. Twari mu kiganiro
dusangira. Ni amagambo magufi turebe turangize.
Icyabaye, leta ya Kongo yavugaga ko bari bahari nk'uko nyakubahwa minisitiri yabavuguruje, nawe akavuga ko batari bahari. Noneho mu kiganiro, kuko abari talk show atari kuvuga ngo turasoma amakuru kwa kundi twihuta.
Ni ikiganiro mwakora.
Ni ikiganiro, noneho tubiteramo urwenya, turavuga tuti se ko tutariyo nk'abanyamakuru, Kongo ikavuga ko ihari, u Rwanda minisitiri akavuga ko adahari, turaza kubaza uwo muhanzi twabonye we yaranahara tubwira ngo yarashinzwe protocole kuko yagaragaye yifotoza muri iyo nama na perezida w'Ubufaransa ari nawe.
Mwibaza ngo noneho icyabaye niki?
Twibaza ngo niki, tubavuga tuti turaza kubaza uwo ni utari ku ruhande rwa Kongo ntabe na minisitiri ashobora kutubwira ko yamubonye cyangwa atamubonye. Tubivuga dutyo turagenda. Nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika ngira ngo ikibazo cyaje kuba ubwo nyakubahwa minisitiri yazaga kuri Twitter akoresha imvugo igira iti Madame Scovia Mutesi, ikiganiro cyanyu kiratera urujijo mu Banyarwanda. Inyandiko yanjye yanditse mu rurimi rwumvikana. Ubutaha muzashaka umunyamakuru uvuga neza igifaransa asemura inyandiko nk'iyi uko bikwiye mbere y'uko muyiganiraho. Nibiba ngombwa muzabaze.
Ariko urumva mwese ngira ngo mufite
muzambaze. Sorry,
uretse mufite ikibazo. Olivier ko avuga, ko minisitiri avuga, ni nkaho bavuze ngo ibyo yavuze asubiza ko abanyekongo batari bahari. Mwavuze ko ni nkaho muvuga ngo abanyekongo bo baravuga ngo bari bahari, wowe uravuga ngo ntibari bahari. So nibyo byateye urujijo.
Yego.
Okay, ntabwo byaba ikibazo cy'igifaransa rero cyangwa ikinyarwanda. Kuko niba uvuga ngo mu iyi nama ntabwo bari abantu bari bahari. Okay, then ukavuga ngo minisitiri ibyo avuga ntabwo ari byo, bariya baravuga ngo bari bahari, minisitiri aravuga ngo ntibari bahari. Icyo kikaba ari cyo kiba ikiganiro, ntabwo ari ikibazo cya interpretation. Ikibazo cy'ukuvuga ngo abantu bavuze nk'aho bahakana ko ibyo bavuze atari byo, kubera ko wavuze ko batari bahari abanyekongo kandi wenda ntibari bahari. Ariko bo baravuga ngo ariko reka tubaze abanyekongo bo barabivuga nk'abari bahari, ubanza bari bahari. So meaning barashaka kumenya niba wowe ibyo wavuze ko batari bahari ari byo. Ntabwo ari ikibazo cya interpretation ya language. Biri he aho ngaho? Ni ikibazo cyo kunyomoza kuvuga ngo minisitiri yatubwiye ko abanyekongo batari bahari. Reka tubaze uriya muntu wundi wari uhari tubwire ko kuko abanyekongo batari bahari. Ntabwo ari ikibazo muzi aho twahereye ko hari hameze hagomba kuba hatandukanye n'ubu ngubu uko hameze. Management y'ibintu hari n'amazi nyine y'imvura agira shyaka hitana ibintu rimwe na rimwe hari ubwo hari ibishobora gukorwa n'abantu ku giti cyabo cyangwa na leta bafatanyije cyane cyane biri mu bushobozi bwacu kugira ngo ariko rimwe na rimwe ntibikorwe nk'uko bikwiriye. Ibyo ni ibintu bihoraho. Ni ukureba rero uko leta yongera ingufu, yongera ubushobozi, ariko yongera no gukurikirana kureba ko ntabwo twahora dufite impamvu ituma tudakora n'ibyo dufitiye ubushobozi, kandi ni byinshi ibyo dufitiye ubushobozi ariko bidakorwa. Urumva ko bigomba kuba bituruka mu bantu ariko rimwe na rimwe ntibikorwe nk'uko bikwiriye. Ibyo ni ibintu bihoraho. Ni ukureba rero uko leta yongera ingufu, yongera ubushobozi, ariko yongera no gukurikirana kureba ko ntabwo twahora dufite impamvu ituma tudakora n'ibyo dufitiye ubushobozi, kandi ni byinshi ibyo dufitiye ubushobozi ariko bidakorwa. Urumva ko bigomba kuba bituruka mu bantu, mu nzego, ariko icyo gihe rero hagomba gukurikiranwa nibura kugira ngo ibishoboka ibyo dufitiye ubushobozi bikorwe, ibyo tudafitiye ubushobozi gushakwa nabwo bishoboye kwihuta n'icyo cyifuzo. Rero urebye nta ibyo wavuze ni ibibazo byo bihoraho imyaka yose, ariko tugomba guhora dushakira abantu bakora ibintu uko bikwiye, babikorera igihe, bakoresha amikoro ahari, adahari hari n'uburyo nanone bwo gukomeza gushaka ayo mikoro. Ibyo rero niho natwe niho abanyarwanda bapimira kumenya uko abayobozi babo babakorera cyangwa leta yabo bakorera. Igihe kigeze turishyura turabyishyura, nabyo byakongerwagamo imbaraga, abaturage bakabitubaza koko, ndetse bamwe bakadusezerera bakavuga ko tutakoze ibihagije kandi byari bishobotse. Buriya bagira igihe cyabo bakwiye kuba bifatiramo bakaduhana.
Thank you, Excellency. We'll take the next question from Jackie.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. My name is Jackie Lumbasi from RBA. Seeing as we have a good representation of the continent in the room, Your Excellency, you have always argued that the African continent is not short of resources or capable people. Sometimes our problem is how we view ourselves, how we think of ourselves. And you even mentioned earlier, some of those problems are self-inflicted. Your Excellency, Rwanda is set to host the Africa Mindset Reset Forum. As we host this forum, I'm wondering, in your opinion, not to speak for any other person, in your opinion, what is that mindset that you want to see Africa change? And when we change it, what do we replace that with? Thank you, Your Excellency.
You want to preempt my discussion? Why don't you wait just another few hours, and tomorrow we'll be together. I'll tell you what I think, so that I avoid repeating myself, right? Actually, part of it I have already said when I was answering some questions earlier. But the mindset, as we know it, is, people talk about planning, they talk about policy, they talk about vision. All those are very, very important. But the mindset seems to be that glue that connects all of them. And the mindset makes these components work well together. So let me leave it at that. The rest you'll hear from me tomorrow. But mindset is important, and Africa has to do something about it. It has to think of how our mindset changes, and we leverage all the opportunities we have and capacities. They are there. But the mindset lacking creates a lot of problems for us. Yeah, you can have somebody, imagine, you can have even a country, let's say like ours. The leadership, the behavior of that leadership, matters a lot in how do we deliver on certain aspirations or promise. Remember, long ago, just a quick example here, well, like in many other places, but let me talk about here. Many years ago, we really had the people, including those like in your category, those who are here, who would not do much that they could have done, just because they think it is somebody else's responsibility, or worse still, they think somebody will come from somewhere outside of our borders to come and help, or to come and remind you what you have to do. And then you could find leaders here so deficient in this area, where they would just and adoring others for what she or he could have done himself. That's a terrible thing about mindset. Even when all the means are there, you still want somebody to remind you what you should be doing, or to instruct you, or you even feel you are accountable to the other one. I mean, about your own business, which really amounts to a shame in a way. So let me stop it here.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
We'll take the next question at the front, Israel.
All right, thank you very much, Your Excellency. My name is Israel Laye, and I am a broadcaster. I've been working as a broadcaster for 27 years, but I'm here at the behest of InfluencerAfrica.com because we brought the content creators to Rwanda at the behest of ASG. And I would say thank you for making it possible for us to be in this room. My question has to do with ASG as a co-founder of the Africa School of Governance. I want to understand what success will look like for you, as in for the establishment of ASG, what success will look like for you, let's say 5 or 10 years from now.
Yeah, success is defined by the very things we talk about almost on a daily basis. So success for me is in some layers. The first layer is here. I'm talking about Rwanda. That's my main task. The other success is derived from knowing that Rwanda is not an island. It's part of the region, it's part of the continent. Rwanda's success without the success of others doesn't make much sense to me. I want to succeed where others are succeeding too. And therefore it means addressing those problems, some of which you have just mentioned here. Let's say we talked about trade. We talked about the continental free trade area, which should allow people to freely move across borders and goods and so on and so forth. So success for me is to see it working. On one part, it is working. For one layer, that is mine, the Rwandan layer, because we tried our best to say, okay, people, you should trade with us. We are making free, this movement free across our border, and we are allowing goods to come in. And so you should allow others to come to you as well, and each other. That's the way we should treat everybody. So success is about this, it's about transformation. We talk about improving the livelihoods of our people. But every day, whether you are crossing here or wherever, you see things that tell you there is still demand for that to happen, and probably faster. So that is, and the whole idea of ASG is that African part. It's just to say, please, can we come together? Can we study together? Can we act together? Can we deliver together? Can we benefit together? So the whole idea of having such an institution is really to remind ourselves of our honorable but heavy task of making progress. Success is about making progress in things you have identified that matter to that success, and there must be a way even of measuring that. So, in a nutshell, for me, that is how and if the institution can be part of that, or act as a catalyst, at least to deliver as many other institutions elsewhere might do the same, then I'll be happy that we'll have made our own contribution.
Thank you, sir. We'll take the next question. Vincent?
Murakoze, Excellency. Vincent Gassana, KT Press. Maybe I should start by begging Your Excellency's pardon because I seem to ask more or less the same question whenever I get the opportunity. But it is a recurring theme, and we're back on the DRC crisis. So it is beginning to look incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to avoid the conclusion that the influential, powerful nations of the West are intent on directing attention away from the underlying causes of the crisis in the DRC. It's gone as far as a rather astonishing comment within the latest group of experts report that Rwanda, quote unquote, sponsors armed groups. They never say which ones they are. They are brazenly pretty much projecting what the DRC does onto Rwanda. Now, in order to avoid looking at the underlying causes, Rwanda is being scapegoated. So really, when you have these powerful nations thinking of nothing of going into the UN Security Council and looking away from the actual causes of a crisis, I'm wondering, Your Excellency, what is it that is left for Rwanda to do beyond repeating the facts about on the grounds, repeating the truth? What else can Rwanda do to ensure that we come back to actually looking at what the causes, what the crisis is about? And immediately, if I may, sir, very quickly, we hear a great deal about African solutions to African problems. Now, the DRC crisis is one of the gravest on the continent. But Africa, the organization, the institutions that should be looking at this, seems to be absent in action. So again, is there something that can be done to bring the solutions back to where they belong, and rather than outsourcing them to people who seem to have deaf ears to what really the solutions to the crisis are? Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Well, I think it's all well put, and just to say, what does Rwanda do about all this? First, survive and thrive. We have to make sure under whatever circumstances we stay intact. We still can survive all this and live by our right to live. Our right to live cannot be taken away by anybody, including the powerful West. Cannot take it away and from us. And so we have to make sure we stay together. We stay, as I said earlier, doing what is right that we can do. But you've put it so well. I mean, you can't help but to wonder why this problem that has been there for these 3 decades, these problems don't go away, despite so much in terms of interest and from all over the place. And but we remain the course and keep contributing to what can find a solution, help us find a solution. And I mean, some of the things you've said, and I'm glad you are the one who said it, not me. Because when it is me, then it is another problem. But I build on what you just said so accurately. And let's say if you look at the composition alone of the so-called group of experts,